Hello there, internet, and welcome to this Let's Play of the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. This game needs very little introduction. It's the remake of the Binding of Isaac from 2011 by Edmund McMillen and Florian Himsel. Hugely popular game, which I myself play quite a bit. It's like a roguelike dungeon crawler, which will explain itself the best when we just get right into it. This is completely blind. I have not actually started the game yet. I played around with the settings a little bit just to make sure that it works, but I've not actually played the game. Normally I like to use like 15-20 minutes to actually make sure that the game works like it should. That is not the case right now. So let's just jump right into it. We have 3 files to choose between. We have some challenges, I'll probably check that out later. Options are pretty simple, choose between full screen or not, sound, volume, stuff like that. Ordinary stuff, nothing out of the ordinary in this. Except, instead let's just jump right into a new game here. We get to choose between a number of different characters, except we don't, because they're all locked right now. So you can tell that some of these characters, for instance this one, we need to do something particular in the game to actually unlock it. So to begin with, we just have this character Isaac, and the story of the game essentially is that Isaac's mother hears the voice of God who tells her to kill her son. And of course her son is Isaac and he doesn't want to get killed, so he jumps into the basement. And that's where we are right now. So the way this game works, you can move around using 4 keys and shoot using 4 other keys in whichever direction you like to use. We have bombs, you can see over there to the left that we have 1 bomb right now, and we get items every now and then. In fact, this is a room containing an item, and this item I actually know what it does. And it's kind of a, if you don't know what this game is about, let me just put it very briefly, it's all about the items. The items you get completely define how the gameplay experience. And so this is kind of a silly item to get, because one of the major things in the game are these secret rooms. So for instance, we just saw a secret room open up here. And I think the item that we got in our item room, those x-ray glasses okay, so that fire just shot me. Tells us where these secret rooms are, so that's kind of a silly but extremely good item to get. What I'll do here, I think, is try to explain what I know about the game. Obviously, that's not gonna be everything, because this is an entirely new game. It adds a whole lot to the original. These things are extremely annoying, but when I do know what's going on, I'll probably just tell it. I'm not gonna pretend that this is a completely new experience to me, but I will also try to explain what's going on, just in case that this is a completely new experience to you. I don't imagine that everybody has actually seen the original. So one thing that's definitely new in this game over the original are these huge rooms that we find ourselves in right now. It's also one of those games that becomes very hectic very fast as more and more enemies crowd around you. And that plays a role for me, because it means that it's going to be a lot more difficult to actually commentate over the game. But we'll worry about that if it becomes necessary. Oh, that's so stupid. So, in the top left corner you can see my health. I have 3 hearts. It's possible to replenish those, and hopefully I will get the chance to as we get further into the game. Here's another secret room, which contains something which I don't actually know what is. Purple heart, challenge up. Okay, so I guess that raises the difficulty of the game. I think that's like a trinket item. Since it's down there in the left corner, what that means is like if I can only have 1 trinket item at a time, essentially. So if I get something else, which is also a trinket item, then it will have to replace this item right here. And I think I'll probably be looking out to do that, because I'm not sure I actually want the game to be more challenging at this point, now that we're just getting into it. So I can tell on the minimap up here in the right corner that I have some health down here that I can actually not pick up. Or I could probably put down a bomb. Or wait, can I actually go over this stuff here? No, it doesn't seem like it. I could put down a bomb and then blow up those rocks and then get the health behind them. But that's probably not going to be necessary. I'm sure that the health that we have right now will carry us to the end of the game. So here's our first boss fight. Isaac versus Monstro. Oh! So Monstro is also in the original game, and if he hasn't changed, I feel like I should be able to handle him. He shouldn't be too bad. The shots that fire when he lands can be a little bit tricky, but that's only kind of a perspective thing. So if I just stay away from him when that happens, I imagine I shouldn't be in too much trouble at all. This is getting a little annoying there. So you can tell from the bar on the top of the screen how much health this dude has left. And it's moving down very, very slowly. In the original game, one of the main things that you wanted to go for was more item damage, or more tear damage. I haven't even said that. We're actually firing tears right now. We're firing sad Isaac's tears. This is a very strange game in many ways. Okay, every time we kill a boss, we get an item as well. So I'm not sure what this does either. It looks like a huge pill. So what did it say? It said size down and speed up or something like that. I'm way too slow when I'm actually talking while playing the game. Also, you can tell from the lower right corner. Oh, what's happening here? So we're dreaming right now, I guess, or maybe just thinking. Anyway, we can tell from the lower right corner that we have an item, namely a pill, which we can use. And I think we use the Q button to do that. The pill that we got lowered our speed, which is very silly because apparently that's the item we got in the boss room did exactly the opposite. And so that is not very optimal. Right, so again we have this golden door, which means that we have an item room, hoping to get something good here. I don't imagine we'll beat the game in the first try. That would be a little silly, but we might be able to. I think these are Dead Sea Scrolls. Yeah, so this is a spacebar item, which we can use every 2 rooms, it seems. You can tell that there's like a green bar up on the left, and it has 2 blocks kind of filling it. Oh, that's scary. I don't want to be in this room at all. 2 blocks filling it up, so in every second room we can use this item, and let's just use it immediately when we get into combat here. What does it do? It freezes all the enemies, so the effect that it actually carries is completely random. It's well, it's not completely random in the sense that it chooses from a fixed set of patterns that can occur, but within those it's random. So this is another secret room. Secret rooms are super good. Well, in the original, I'm not sure if they are in this game, but so far it seems like they're beneficial enough. The fire in the original, again, contains items every now and then. I think this... What does this do? Yeah, this just regenerates our spacebar items so that we don't have to wait until it's full again, the meter up there. So let's put down a bomb here, because if I'm not mistaken, this is a dime, which gives us 10 cents instead of 1 cent. And 10 is way more than 1. The money that we get, we can use in shops that are scattered. Oh, this is very super chaotic. We can use in shops that are scattered around the game. So I'll probably go into this shop right here just to see if there's anything interesting on sale. Now we have plenty of cash to do so. We have 21 cents. But we don't have any keys, so we're not gonna go into that shop. That's problematic. So I'm curious how much this challenge up trinket or whatever it is thing that I got, how much that actually has an influence on the game, how much more difficult the game is. So right up here we have our boss room again. I'm gonna wait to go into that until I've checked out the rest of the floor, because while the game is still reasonably easy, he says, and takes damage immediately after, there's no reason not to go to all the rooms, because going to all the rooms will ensure that you get the most possible benefits from items and stuff like that, because you're gonna find more of them. Right. So we'll do that. And it seems like we have another pill here, which we don't know what does. So maybe I'll wait. Oh, this also looks familiar. Okay, so yeah, this thing here, we put money into it and it spits trinkets and sometimes other stuff as well out of it. So now we can actually see what this does. Purple Heart Challenge Up. This is Mom's Pearl. It emanates purity. Not sure what that does, actually. I feel like I should be able to remember from the original, but I don't. So there is something new for me here as well. Now we actually got a key, so we can go into the shop. Here we have a donation machine, which doesn't appear to do much. How does that work? I don't know. I put a cent into it. So let's buy this item right here. Mom's coin purse. What's all this? Okay, so that just spits out 4 pills. So we know this one already. That's the benefit that as soon as we've taken a pill, we know what it does for the rest of the game. Here we have explosive diarrhea. It's not something I'm too happy about. Spits out a bunch of bombs. 48-hour energy, so that spits out one of those things that regenerates our spacebar item. So let's just go with that. In fact, let's take this one first. Bad gas that deals poisonous gas, or makes poisonous gas all around us, that deals poison damage to enemies. So this is a new boss, Dinkle. So curious what's gonna happen here. That those shots were super fast. Okay, so he spawns enemies and shoots super fast tears. Or not tears, but whatever those are. Scary things. I like the whistle. It's super cool. Oh, I don't like that so much though. I guess I should use the sea scrolls here. Okay, so that fired a bomb. So maybe I should just use my pill here. That gives us another charge on our item, which dropped the first boss, and we saw Monstro on the boss, who then almost died, and we unlocked an achievement, which I guess is for dealing with the first 2 levels here. Alright, range up. Can be useful, I suppose. This thing here, there's no reason not to take, and I think we went through the entirety of the floor. So let's just move on. I guess I could have shot that poop. Maybe the poop had something good for me. So halfway through the game, if you are to believe the small counter on the top there. So we move on to the 3rd floor. Of course, floors become more and more difficult. Okay, so these guys I apparently can only shoot when their necks are stretched. That's gonna be super annoying. I could have probably easily avoided taking damage from that shot there. Okay, so this is a tarot card. So this is the Empress. If I remember correctly, that allows us to turn into some kind of demon which deals more damage on a single room. So that's probably something we'll be able to use on a boss fight. Looks like these batteries are super common. Again, this just fills up our bar, right? Yeah, so we can't do anything with that right now. So not too exciting, but I imagine that could be pretty good if we had a more interesting spacebar item than the one that we just had. So the effect there caused us to pee on the floor, and of course the pee is poisonous to enemies. Unfortunately, no enemies were around there to actually take damage from the pee. So this seems like a ridiculously simple room. I mean, these guys apparently can do nothing to actually hurt me. So I can't go down. I can blow up this rock, and then I can get the soul heart on the other side. The difference between soul hearts and ordinary hearts is that soul hearts go on top of your existing heart container. So I can get like 3 red hearts. Oh, now they're a little bit more scary. And then I can get like more soul hearts on top of that. Then on the other hand, there's no way to actually replenish those soul hearts. When you lose them, they're gone. Which is kind of a balancing factor. So I'll probably take that, but there's no reason to take it immediately, because I'm probably just going to use it. I think this is cancer. Yay, cancer. And that ups our tear rate by quite a bit, as you can tell. So given that I don't quite remember what Mom's Pearl does, it's probably good. I'm not sure. This is an obvious good, so I'm going to go with that, because I think it almost doubles our rate of shots, which our rate of fire, which then on the other hand doubles our... These guys are super annoying. Our effective DPS, which is of course good. In most cases, anyway. I think there's just another ordinary penny. Okay, ooh, this game is scary. Okay, so that poop dropped some grey poop, which I'll definitely look into when I get the chance, when these guys will leave me alone. Okay, so fortunately the poop burned itself on the fire and turned into smaller portions of poop in this poop-filled room. This game is not for kids. Alright, so there's some health back. I was getting a little bit frightened at our situation right there. Petrified poop, it feels lucky. I have no idea what that does at all. Maybe it makes other poop contain more stuff, in which case it's sad that I already shot all the poop. I'm gonna keep cancer for now, I think, even though it's probably the less interesting choice because it means that we're not gonna get smarter on what these items actually do. So maybe I'll regret that in a second. This room is also super scary. There's way too many enemies for my brain to be able to handle on a Tuesday evening like this. Actually, the game was set to be officially released at 7 p.m. So the entire internet was just screaming when it turned out that we had to wait another some 20 minutes or so. And I was sitting there as well, waiting for this thing to open up. But now it is open and now we're playing the game, which is fantastic. A missing page, it glows with power. What does that do? Maybe it gives us more damage? I'm gonna go with petrified poop, just because that one I certainly have no idea what it does. But maybe I will be able to figure out. So down here we have the shop, which we can't go into because we don't have enough keys, and also we don't really have a ton of money, so it probably wouldn't make much sense to go in there either way. Normally, in the original, items in the shop would cost either 7 or 15 cents. So it would normally make sense to go in there if you have 15 cents, because then you can buy whatever is there. But now we don't. The game runs super smooth, I should say. One thing that was bad with the original is that you had to have a sort of new computer to actually run it, even though it's just like this super basic graphics. The fact that it was made in Flash and contain apparently way more entities than Flash was able to deal with just made it a complete power hog. It made it super slow on even fairly new computers, which is kind of sad. This one appears to not have that issue at all. Although I guess we haven't seen any super chaotic... let's look around map here. Super chaotic situations yet. Still not completely sure what our petrified poop actually does. So we're kind of meeting mini bosses in every single room now, as you can tell from the meter at the top there. Means that the game is getting more difficult. Which it should, of course, because it's a video game and that's how video games work. So, yeah, once again, I'm not super confident that we're actually gonna make it to the end of it, but we're, oh shit, gonna have a already pretty good first run. I was afraid that this was just gonna end after like 5 minutes, which would often happen to me in the original. Sad to admit, but that is the case. So, here we have that spirit, or I'm not gonna call it spirit hearts, only dum-dums call them spirit hearts, because they're soul hearts. Was there anything in here? It looks like a pretty empty room. I'm gonna min-max a little bit. I'm gonna come back after the soul heart, after I've killed the boss. So that in case we take damage on the boss, as long as we don't take too much anyway, we can come back and get the soul heart afterwards. Alright, so let's use the Dead Seal Scrolls here. That puts down a bomb. Not too exciting in particular because it didn't really hit anything. So I might actually want to use bombs against this guy, because when he does that chargey thingy, he will actually soak up any bombs that you put down and take a ton of damage from that. I have a few bombs at the moment, so there's no reason to not really use them for that purpose. One reason you want to normally stick with bombs is because they gain you access to the secret rooms. But oh shit, since we have an item that actually does get us access to the secret room to begin with, I'm not gonna worry too much. On the other hand, I'm gonna worry that I'm taking way more damage here than I should. In fact, 2 more hits will kill us. So let's try not to die here. Alright, there's all of our health back. That's super good. And here, with growth hormones, speed and damage up. That's super good. Because damage is good and speed is also good. So let's come back for that heart that I forgot about. Where was it? Or didn't forget about, but didn't pick up anyway. So now I'm down to 0 bombs, which is of course not completely optimal. Did I go to my... I didn't actually go to my item room because I didn't have any keys. Oh, that's a concern. I guess we can take this thing and then maybe the Dead Sea Scrolls will help us out. Oh, we have two. No, we have an Emperor card now. The Emperor card, if I remember correctly, teleports us to the boss room, which is useful in some situations, but not really for us right now. So I was hoping that somehow we could get a card which would gain us some keys. I'm not sure if that's gonna be possible at all. What was in this other secret room up here? Was there anything in here? Oh, we didn't go in here before. Okay. Alright, here we have speed down and another energy thing. Okay, so give us a card, something like that. Okay, that's not a card, that's another crazy effect. So I'm gonna use this a couple of times just because. Okay, I'm not actually sure what that did. Just in case we can get a key out of it somehow. I'm not sure if that's actually gonna be possible. This is not a key, that's a ton of bombs. Speed down, we don't want. Empress will take on to the next floor. So that's very disappointing because, as I said, the items are really what define this game. So not being able to get the items, first of all, makes the game a lot more difficult, but it also makes it somewhat less interesting. Alright. So here's another mini-boss who shouldn't be too much of a concern if we can avoid these bombs. In fact, he's probably gonna blow himself up. Maybe he doesn't take damage from bombs, actually. But he doesn't seem to have a lot of health, so let's just go on. And of course, we get a key immediately after. Hierophant gives us 2 soul hearts, which is really good. So I'll have to remember that. Okay, now we can actually go into our item room. And we get an attack fly, I believe. Forever alone attack fly, right. So a fly flies around us, deals damage to everything it touches. Here we get some more money, also good. And this guy here is a beggar, so if we use some bombs, which we don't have at the moment, we could go into the guy, or into his little room here in the middle, and give him money. And then if we give him enough money, he's gonna give us an item. And items are good, so that's something that I will probably want to do. The item down there on the bottom that I didn't go into, it takes health to go into it, but it oftentimes is worth it just because the benefits that you can get from it are super good. Alright, so some serious dodging happening here. Our fly is doing some pretty good work as well. Might as well take that red heart immediately. Okay, so these guys spit out bombs. That's scary. Of course, this fly, even though it is nice, is probably not going to win us the game. But I am happy to have it nonetheless. The thing in this game is that there are passive items, and then there are spacebar items. And I mean, you can only have one spacebar item, so after you get a decent one, I'm not sure if I want to call the one that we have right now decent, you may as well stock up on passive items. So getting some actually good passive items is definitely something we're looking out to do at the moment. This is an eternal heart, I believe, so that goes somehow in between our soul hearts and ordinary hearts, and then if we manage to keep it alive until the next floor, it becomes a new heart container. And so that's good, of course, because we want more heart containers. So I'll have to do some serious backtracking at some point during this floor to make sure that we get all of this stuff here before we go on. And I mean, again, this is where commenting the game actually makes it a whole lot more difficult, because you want to make sure that you do things in the right order and that you don't forget to do stuff. Oh! Scary. I really don't like these enemies. And I mean, as you comment, everything that requires brain power becomes more difficult. Dodging you can sort of like do if you've played enough video games. Aiming you can also just do if you know what you're doing. But thinking, that's a lot trickier. So anyway, here's our another. Oh, this is I think it's called a devil heart or something like that. I'm not actually sure what it does. So definitely, okay, so it goes at the end after our soul hearts. So I'm not sure what else it does. I guess we'll find out. Even though I said the same thing about the petrified poop, and I'm not actually sure what that does yet. Oh, this guy shoots super rapidly, but Fortunately, he died. So it feels like the damage up that we got earlier is really helping us out here. Oh, this is a super scary room. Maybe not. So the thing about this game is that... okay, so there's a ton of different rooms, as you can tell already. But the rooms are similar enough that you get the hang of them fairly quickly. And when you do, that's going to make the game a whole lot easier. There's a lot of patterns, pattern memorization to the game in general. In particular in boss fights, but also in ordinary rooms. Many of these rooms I've never seen before. Those are completely new to the game. Alright, so there is our boss. I realized I should probably use my spacebar item more often. Yeah, there's no excuse, I just simply should. Alright, so we almost lost our black heart there. Would be maybe it does something at the end of the floor, just like the Eternal Heart does. The one that I left behind. If so, it's kind of maybe silly that I picked it up already. Looks like we went to every single room except for the boss room. More bombs, more keys. We also didn't go to the shop. Let's do that afterwards. Here's Gertie. He's also a classic. Let's just use our C scrolls immediately. Maybe they do something good. Looks like we turned into... okay, it gave us a black heart, I believe, and turned us into this devil, which I'll just assume means that we deal more damage. So I think we already lost one of our black hearts. I'm not completely sure what's going on with theirs. Maybe I'm missing something obvious. So, yeah. Gertie should be easy enough, but he does have a ton of health. You just have to look at his face to figure out what the next move he's gonna do actually is. So you can tell when he's gonna shoot, and when he does, you should just move out of the way. And also he spawns a ton of enemies, which are super annoying. It's, in the original anyway, not really worth it to take all of them out, because then you're... Okay, what does it do? Okay, it deals damage to everything when you lose it. That's super, super interesting. I was talking about something. Right, I don't want to take out all the enemies because then Gertie himself is just gonna spawn more of them. And we had another achievement, and we don't have time to actually do something about it. So one thing to notice here is that we actually spawn a deal with the devil. So deals with the devil. In deals with the devil, you get to lose health to pick up items. So I don't think any of these items are actually super good. I don't know. I think the one on the left is Ghost Baby, which I believe is a new item, but I'm probably not gonna pick it up. Maybe I should, just to show it up. Sorry, hiccups. Just to show it off. Oh, there's a bomb in that chest. So let's do that. Ghost Baby, Spectral Body. So that gives us a little follower who shoots tears. Really cool stuff. So damage and range up. I'll take it. It's gonna be so difficult to remember what all of these items do, and you really want to in many cases, so that you can make qualified decisions about whether or not to take various items. It does look like we get more stuff out of the poop, doesn't it? Huh. What is that? Alright, so first of all, that's a penny, which is good. Or is it a nickel? It's a nickel, yeah. American monetary system going on here. So what is this? Hive mind, giant spiders and flies. That sounds terrifying. I'm not necessarily happy that I picked that up. I'm not sure what this donation machine really does either. Can I blow it up? Doesn't really seem to do anything. So anyway, I left some health around this level, which I'll now go and pick up. Okay, so that's not how the Eternal Heart normally looks, which is interesting, of course. Did I leave a Soul Heart as well somewhere? I think I did. Sorry for all the backtracking, that's maybe not the most interesting thing to watch. I'll go in here. 2 Black Hearts. So since we know what Black Hearts do right now, alright, Hierophant. Press Q. Right, there we go. You unlocked Lazarus. Huh. Okay, so I guess I unlocked a character, a playable character. And there, okay, so a ton of things going on right here. Let's slow down. So it looks like the Black Hearts and the Soul Hearts can actually mix with each other. That's good to know. And of course, we went into a room which cost us 1 soul heart, but we gained 2 black hearts out of it. Yeah, at least 1. I feel like we should add 2 at this point. So there is a little bit of arithmetic right there that I cannot seem to really understand at the moment. Maybe I'm just forgetting something. Did we leave anything here? No. So I guess it's just on to the next floor. I'm getting a little confident that we might actually be able to beat this game on our first try, which would be surprising, if nothing else. Oh, the present was actually poop. Okay, so the Eternal Heart works like it always does. We get a completely new heart container out of it. So I might have to come back to this thing just to gamble a little bit, maybe get something good out of it. But for now, I want to see if we can make... Oh, shit. Make the shop worth going to with the money that we already had. These things are scary. I'm already taking a ton of damage. And this entire area is a little scary. The music is unfortunately a bit low, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it. But that's also... scary of nature, like the stuff you'll see in scary movies. Could you pop up, please? No? So these enemies appear to be identical to the ones that we know and love from the caves. So, yeah, as you can tell, levels come in pairs. We went to 2 basement levels and 2 caves levels, and now we're in the so-called depths levels. So this guy looks like a super angry version of... yeah, those guys. It seems like the enemies have picked up quite a bit in difficulty. I mean, that charge attack right there seems super difficult to avoid. Or maybe there's a... it seems like I'm dodging into it almost every time, so maybe it just always goes in the same direction. I don't know. Might be something I should check out. See if I can find some patterns. So we already lost a ton of the health that we gained earlier. So I think this is a challenge room. If we decide to open these chests, then a bunch of enemies are gonna spawn. But I mean, we can just deal with the enemies, right? So this is absolutely terrifying, the noises that these guys are making. But now they die as a result of me losing my black heart. I should probably just use the sea scrolls here. It gave me a pill, which is explosive diarrhea. Not all that good. But I can use it to kill some enemies. I can also use it to... well, I can mainly use it to kill enemies. I can also open up... what is that? Kind of spectral spiders. Okay, these guys are super annoying. You can only deal damage to them when they are facing the other way. I feel like I'm trying to explain so much stuff here that I simply run out of time every time I try. Okay, this pill we don't actually know what does. Telepills. So that teleports us to another part of the map. Not too sad about that. We can always go in and pick up the stuff that we left behind. This room is super annoying. These guys seem a bit slower than in the original, which is cool by me. There we go. Item room contains the relic? Holy mantle, holy shield. That sounds awesome. Let's see if we can figure out what it actually does. Here we, as always, can recharge our Dead Sea Scrolls. Probably not something we're gonna do at the moment because it makes no sense to do so. I guess it makes more sense to use these items on the bigger rooms because there they have the potential to affect more enemies. I'm getting more and more certain that our trinket actually does make poop pay out more. Yeah. I mean, everything is random, right? You can never conclude anything 100%, but... I think we could put up a hypothesis here and then not actually be able to claim it false. So there's a rainbow poop. If you ever look down your toilet, see a rainbow poop, you should call a doctor. This is not normal. So this poop also comes with flies, and when you kill the poop, the fly comes out. Alright. That wasn't a rainbow. Let's go back and bring the stuff that we left behind from before I forget to. Also new guys here. There are so many new enemies in this game. It's fantastic. It's like a whole new game. I'm taking so much dumb damage. At one point I was feeling fairly confident that we were gonna beat this game no problem. Yeah. What's that? Guppy's Collar, Eternal Life. I think I saw that item on Edmund McMillen's blog, but I'm not actually sure what it does. Guppy is Isaac's cat in like Binding of Isaac lore. So, I just noticed up right now that by our heart containers, in the upper left corner, it says ×1 question mark. Which probably means something, but I actually have no idea what that something is. We already went in here. We didn't go in here though. Maybe I should stop going to every single room because at the moment I'm taking more damage than I'm getting. I think I just have a shield right now and I can't take damage. So let's exploit that a little bit. The stuff that they leave on the ground will damage you. So that's scary. Oh, I know these guys. Oh. This room would be a lot easier if it weren't so dense. Alright, that was surprisingly okay actually. There's a shop. Run! So since the speed is a variable parameter in this game, that room could be scary in some situations. Okay, so sometimes the shop contains greed. Who's like a mini boss that we will have to kill before we can do anything else. He sometimes drops good stuff, but mainly it's just like a pain in the ass. Our attack fly seems super powerful actually, more so than I remember. Oh, that damage is so frustrating. Okay, so this item is the Steam sale, which makes everything in the shop cost half the amount that it normally does. So it's pretty meaningless at this point because we're so far in the game already, but I'm not sure why I'm going up here. But in some other situations it might be worth more. Okay, so that green turret up there to the left just essentially killed everything in this room, which is nice, and then it killed the rest as well. I don't even have to do anything. Alright, so now we have a golden key, which I believe allows us to open up every single locked door on this floor without any cost. So it's kind of a shame that I already opened a locked door, because I could have saved the key. I'm feeling a little bit hesitant actually destroying this poop, because the poop is my only defense against these guys. It seems like they always charge a little bit to the left, right? So if you can just dodge in the opposite direction, you should be good. Again, a hypothesis to test. So many bombs. Alright, so there's our boss. Is this the last floor or the second to last floor? This is the second to last floor, right? We are not actually at the last floor yet. Alright, so that guy is also fairly suicidal, which is cool by me. And we have another very secret room, which teleports us to a deal with the devil. That's interesting. So, okay. I know what the item on the left does. That's Guppy's tail, which makes more golden chests spawn, and golden chests require keys to open. So that's kind of cool. The cool thing about it is that if you collect enough Guppy items, so remember Guppy was a cat, then you actually turn into Guppy and become super powerful. And we already have a Guppy item, but it's probably a little bit too late right now to make good use of that. The item on the right makes us deal more damage, plain and simple, if I remember correctly anyway. But it's probably a little too expensive to pick up at this point. Even though, as I said before, you really want to make sure you get a lot of damage. What makes me hesitant is the fact that it says, like the question mark up there to the left. I know you can get items that make you live more than once. And then that would be indicated by such a number up there. But I'm not actually sure if we have something like that right now. I think I'm gonna... Oh, that was bad. Pop the card that I got before, which turns us into a devil that deals more damage. Oh, stood right in the line of that. Okay. So in the original, you could completely cheese this fight by figuring out the patterns. It seems like that has been changed around a little bit, and that this boss is now a whole lot more difficult than he originally was. Also, since all the patterns have new animations, you sort of have to learn them from the beginning again. But we're doing a reasonable amount of damage here, and we're not losing too much health, so I'm thinking that we should still be able to make it out alive here. And unlike on the previous floor, we don't have all that much backtracking to do, I believe. I don't think we left too much stuff behind. Which also means that we're not gonna have too much stuff to bring down to the next floor, which worries me. Because having only 2 hearts with the amount of damage... having only 1.5 heart with the amount of damage that I'm taking... Oh, shit. I'm not completely convinced that we're gonna be able to beat this game. But let us at least beat this boss. I'm happy that all of his bodies die when he jumps on them. Okay, I got out of the way of that. It's cool that they drop so much health. What is this? Torn photo. Tears plus shot speed up. So shot speed up means that the shots actually fly faster. I left something up there in the top. I think that's just... What was that actually? We're super fast. Let's just super quickly jump up there and look. Yeah. Okay, and we also have some health, so there's good reason to go back here. We also left a beggar, didn't we, at some point? Was that this floor? There's nothing on the map, so I'm gonna think it was the previous floor. Okay, so this is probably just marked because it was a secret room, right? Yeah. So, secret rooms come in 2 varieties. Like ordinary secret room, and this is the ordinary one. And top secret rooms, which are more difficult to find. So you can tell from the map that secret rooms tend to spawn close to many rooms, while top secret rooms spawn close to not very many rooms, which makes them more difficult to predict the locations of. Something that's super useful to be aware of in general. I don't think we can actually do all that much more. I'm scared that I'm forgetting, yeah, I'm feeling that I'm probably forgetting something. So this should be the final floor of the game. Maybe. Anyway. We cannot go in here for some reason. Oh, that cost keys. I should not have done that. Because now I have no keys to go into my item room. That's super cool though. Like rooms requiring more than 1 key to actually go into. So it seems like we're doing more and more damage. We've seen this enemy essentially throughout the entire game by now. And he does seem to be a lot easier to kill now than he was to begin with. What is happening here? I think I just took damage, didn't I? Oh, because I was standing next to this fire, probably. So the red glowing fire shoots bullets at you that you need to avoid. This is also one of those rooms where your brain needs to be in a certain gear for you to not take damage. That worked out. I think this is a boss challenge room. In those, if we have if we don't have very much health, I think we need less than 1 full heart. Then we can go into those and fight some bosses and get some items. And items are good. So in many situations that's something you want to do, even though it does require you to go very far down on your health. Alright, so we're getting a ton of red hearts. That makes me a little bit more confident that we might still have some chances here. Because with the amount of damage I'm taking, I imagine that by the time I find the boss, I'm probably going to be fairly low on health. No problem. We're going to be able to do this. I would wish that I had more than these 3 health containers going into the final boss. I shouldn't have done that. I knew what that item did. It gives us 3 soul hearts and a faith up, which does something that I might come back to later. But in particular, it gives us those 3 soul hearts, which would have guaranteed us a success probably. But now, since we already had the soul hearts, we might end up losing them before we actually manage to get into the boss fight, which would be super bad. Okay, here is another secret room. And now we can actually cheat our way into the room that required us to spend 2 keys. So let's just do that, see what it contains. First of all, some spiders. Kill those. It's like a sunken ship kind of theme here. Oh, okay, so there's a trinket behind this guy. Broken magnet, it kind of worked. Let's see what that does. So at least it means that we can pull pennies closer to us. That much was obvious just from the room itself, which is useful in some situations. For instance here. We're gonna keep this 48-hour energy. What is this? Hookworm. Oh, that's strange. Yeah, let's try that. And then if we ever need the... this is a super annoying room. If we ever need the magnet, which we probably won't because there's our boss and I'm kind of keen on just going straight to the boss fight. Even though it would make sense to also try to find our shop because we have so much money right now and more items could mean more success. But then on the other hand, I would potentially lose health if I did more exploration. So I think I'm just gonna go directly to the boss fight. So the hookworm makes our shots a lot slower. It's actually a little bit annoying. Let's just go into the boss fight anyway. And our final boss is Mom, who has a huge foot. So I might as well just go completely nuts with our Dead Sea Scrolls here, I guess. Oish! I did not see that coming. I think that did a full heart of damage to me actually, which is bad. So that also slowed down the music quite a bit, which is interesting. No! The random effect teleported us out of the boss room. But then, on the other hand, it did give us 2 black hearts that we can then take into the boss fight again. Fair enough, game. Fair enough. So maybe I'm not gonna use Dead Sea Scrolls as liberally in the future. Probably the hookworm is bad here because I want to shoot the sides of the room, but since my shots are so slow and since the sides of the room are only visible for a short period of time, it makes it a lot more difficult to actually time it. So this fight is easy enough. She spawns a bunch of enemies that you should take care of, and then every once in a while she comes down and you get a chance to deal damage to her directly, and you want to do so. And then she calls out her name repeatedly. So as you can tell, this is super pattern based, and as soon as you actually manage to figure out the patterns, that was not entirely on purpose.
His mother, filled with the desire to serve her God, was bearing down on Isaac. I will do as I'm told, my lord. I love you above all else, Isaac's mother repeated to herself. This was the end of the line for Isaac. His mother was far too strong for him. But just as he accepted his fate, God intervened, sending an angel down from above to stop his mother's hand. And just like that, it was over.
Awesome. Alright, so a lot of stuff happened at once right there. What happened was that I figured out that there's apparently a key shortcut to go full screen. So while I was fiddling around with that, the same second as I took off the full screen, I think I managed to deal the deadly blow to Mom, who then died. Then we got something close to 100 achievements, and then we got the cutscene that tells us that maybe there is actually more to this game. You unlocked the womb. You unlocked challenge 20. Oh, that's a lot of challenges. You unlocked harbingers. I see. Cube of meat. So as you play the game more and more, you're gonna unlock more and more items that you can then find on later playthroughs of the game. So this has a huge replay value, and I will definitely play this game much more than once. I think I can say so much without any doubt already. But for now, this seems like a fitting end to this first playthrough, and I actually managed to beat the game. That's more than I expected. But now I can promise that the game is going to be a lot more tough the next time around. But for now, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. So as always, thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you some other time.